Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Martin Rappos. I'm one of the founders and the CEO of Akular. Let me check whether we've got everyone we wanted to have here. See, we've got a lot of people still connecting. I'll give it another minute, okay? And then we'll start. Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Martin Rappos. Nice to meet you. I hope you hear me well. So I'd like to present you what we've done at Akular, and let me cut to the chase. I think a lot of you have come because, as we have advertised, this is a very special moment as we celebrate the Autodesk University and the BIM 360 integration that we've done and the BIM 360 partnership. We are giving out today 60% discount for the 5,000 seats. So massive discount. Just go to our store.akular.com, and hit the code BIMR, Building Information Modeling Augmented Reality. That will give you your 60% discount immediately. And somebody from our team will be with you shortly to help with onboarding if any assistance is needed. Akular, to give you a brief introduction, is a 3D augmented reality platform which helps you to convert any size, any complexity 3D model into augmented reality and pushed into your phones and devices. We are the company that provides experience of a unified perspective. We overlay 3D models onto the reality. We help by providing real size, geolocated, any kind of complexity, and we work with the construction companies, we work with developers, we work with architects and cities and governments to actually engage people and to easily communicate. We created this company because we want to give you time saving. So by sharing the 3D models, you're able to make decisions faster and you are able to make better decisions, therefore excellence. We give you time saving and we give you project excellence by using augmented reality. When we've done it such that actually the cost is unprecedented, we've brought the cost down to something that you haven't, and the 60% discount today is an example of that as well. For your licenses, we brought the cost down to where this has never been in the industry. Some of our proud references here, as I mentioned, we work across the AEC value chain. The first client we had was Boston Properties, East Coast, one of the biggest developers. Also JBG Smith, where we worked on the Amazon headquarters, the national landing of Amazon in the Crystal City, Washington, D.C. area, but also working with engineers such as Alpha Corporation, WGI, and others, architects such as KPF, several universities, and also global corporations where we create AR catalogs of their products, such as Fiesmann, which is a global German-based company, which is working on large, which has 2.5 billion turnover, selling boilers, photovoltaics, integrated systems, heating systems, all around the world. As an Autodesk partner and a construction cloud partner, we are part of the BIM 360 document. So you can create your BIM 360 card, and that brings you to our environment, which is on the cloud, and our Unity instances, where we convert your 3D models through automated algorithms into augmented reality. We also won several awards. To mention some of them, the Infrastructure Tech by Build Worlds, for instance, or the NeoCon last year, together with one of our customers for MEP. So why we did this? We are builders, we are developers, we are bankers that actually were financing project finance and construction projects. We are architects, we are engineers. We got people from Arab, for instance, that work for us now. We got urban planners on the team. So we are one of you. And we have, from the business standpoint, recognized this challenge of bringing together and therefore unifying perspectives of the customers and the people that want to communicate the 3D models, the BIM. And this was increasingly important when the augmented reality technology hit the mass market, really in 2017. And we were one of the first companies to actually embrace this technological opportunity. So we help to bring, investors, contractors, designers, engineers, together with developers, local governments, all the way to communities, through easy sharing of 3D models, geolocated, real size, and augmented reality. So this is what drives us, and the benefits, as I mentioned, especially what we see with our projects worldwide, we see a lot of time savings. And time savings because of the processes that you can actually alter using the augmented reality. You are also able to make better decisions, therefore project excellence. This is what really matters to us. We want to make sure that any going back and forth between the architects, developers, or the project team and VDC managers is eliminated to the best possible extent, so that that's why we created an augmented reality experience and a fast augmented reality experience. How it works? So we, as I mentioned, we put together all of the major brands of 3D models, all of the major file formats, any file formats really. We have an automated file conversion system that runs on the cloud, and whatever cannot be for any reason converted automatically, we have a team of engineers and 3D graphical designers that can take that and finish the conversion manually. And within a day, we send it to your, sometimes even within an hour, within minutes, but definitely within a day. Even if we need to make manual enhancements, we push it down to your tablet or your phone to your account. And once you have it there, you can share it. You can do all kinds of things with it. You can geolocate. You can make snapshots. You can record videos. You can do all kinds of things. You can overlay 2D on 3D. You can use it on the site. I'll show you some of the examples of the projects that we've done together with our esteemed customers. Throughout this entire process, you have our customer care team, which is always ready to help and support you. Even if you go on site and you are not sure how to use it, we can dial in with you, and we can actually, by you sharing your screen through a Teams call such like this, actually help you to position everything right, to set up the markers if needed, or to use the geolocation features. So we pride ourselves in really understanding you and your needs. Some of the features, just to mention a few, as I mentioned, the actual size models, any complexity of the models. We don't have any limit on file size. So if it's a 700 meg federated Navisworks model, this is actually something we can process within a day as well. And we've done huge projects in the past, airport terminals with 22 different layers within the Navisworks file. It's all geolocated. We can bring it to photorealistic quality if you need to. It's an extra service on top of the license, but we can do that very, very quickly. You can share it. You can share it with your colleagues. You can share it with your stakeholders. You can do things like, you know, sunlight, overlay of your blueprints. You can do all kinds of integrations within BIM, especially if you have your custom application. So there are two options. Either you use our Okular app, or which is free within your subscription, or you can have us build a custom application for you, where it's exclusively for your brand, and you can share with your customer, you know, and that's a whole different feel. Within that custom application, you can have all kinds of integrations, specific analytics, and all kinds of additional features. I would like to just mention that, you know, we really want to do this on ubiquitous devices. I mean, we've been integrating with Magic Leap and the HoloLens, but where we really excel, and where we really see the value is just using the tablets and phones right now. That's what we hear from the industry, and that's what we're heavily pushing. And you know, that's the kind of advice we're always giving. Having said that, we're always happy to obviously integrate on any devices that you require us, either AR, MR, or VR, as I mentioned, as needed. Let me show you some of the examples. In the construction world, tracking progress and reducing the steps in conflict resolution is always an issue which is high on top of your agenda, I'm sure. And we get that, we understand. Here's an example of a project that we've done, a small project where you can see that what is already built is being compared in real time with what is being planned for that particular model, right? So tracking progress, very simple. In an app, you can have it in all kinds of opacity. You can have it solid, or you can have it semi-transparent, and you can check all kinds of details of your 3D model, including the positioning, the precision. We even have clients that drive on site with the tablet in their hand. That's, you know, when you have really large sites. I think that's pushing it to the extreme, but it is possible. Some of the examples, so GLY on the West Coast is working with our app. As you can see, large construction sites, semi-transparent versus solid. They're using markers for the precision. These are beautiful projects where they are able to, across different work packages, share what is the latest update on the BIM model for that building. So GLY, West Coast, a large contractor, very good reputation. Let me show you an example of underground infrastructure where we've been able to geolocate a 3D model that we created. So this is one of our geolocation screens. You set it up, and you are already seeing the 3D model that we've created the day before. Yeah. This is a 3D model taken just with your tablet. So it's using the LiDAR iPad Pro. And as you can see, this has already progressed, but you see what is underground. Extremely simple use case, but very powerful in terms of checking, you know, how was the infrastructure actually deployed before you cover it, right? How was the fit out? You know, before you've got the fit out, how was that actually installed, etc. Another use is in modular. We work with full stack modular, and I have a number of videos and pictures of this. So, you know, please ping me in the chat, and I can share more of any of the use cases and much more. Obviously, you can also check out our YouTube page. Full stack modular is using a library of objects which has been created in their custom-made application to create these kind of animations where you can actually configure a whole high-rise building in an augmented reality app with the kind of precision where you can check on site how that looks like, and you can check all the MEP connections on site, which is extremely important once you are in modular. Very good feedback on that as well. You also put the facades and all that. So we use it also for sales, not just construction. Cables, management of underfloor cabling, even editing of the underfloor cabling within the augmented reality, right? You can detect the cabling based on the 3D model that we have pre-recorded or that we have preloaded, and then when you are on site, you can actually see all of the components. We won an award for this solution last year at NeoCon. This is for a customer of our free access. Installation, training, and sharing of global, really, instructions. So this is from Viessmann, the German producer of boilers and heating and cooling systems, where everything in this picture is actually real, apart from this one boiler that is being decomposed. What you see here is really the 3D scans or the 3D models that are being put apart as a augmented reality sequence, where in the real size you can see to high degree of detail how that is put together, right? So you can imagine that this kind of training will help to save tremendous costs for the company to bring everybody, and avoid a lot of costs for the company to bring everybody into a training center and run through that. Also, what it helps is using this for all the older models that you don't even have in the training centers, but you do have the 3D models of it, right? So you can create virtual trainings based on equipment that you don't even have anymore, but you have it in digital form. What is really cool about this, and this goes into asset management, you can create configurations. You can create scenes with multiple 3D models in it. And as you are in the scene, you set it up, you can save that, and you can share it with your customers or with your team to actually, and that can connect, and you can do all kinds of things with it. Now, this is the same concept that we use to fit out and to do virtual staging of houses, offices, that we use for asset management of schools, that we use for asset management of hospitals, that we use for configuration of autonomous robots that actually disinfect schools and hospitals. I can have a separate presentation on this. There's so many examples of how you can create a scene, and then while in your augmented reality, can actually alter the scene. That will give you a connection to your asset management system. That will give you an itemized list of the items that you have used in the scene, including the pricing. And then you can immediately share that along with the video, which is a rendered video that you can send to your customers. All of the uses that I mentioned here are possible just with your basic subscription, for which today we have 60% discount for the 5,000 seats. So punch in your code, Building Information Modeling Augmented Reality, BIMAR, at store.akular.com. Another example from the security standpoint. On the World Trade Center, we work with Siami, a construction company in New York, where we are able to show exactly the pickup zones, we can demonstrate the 6-foot distance and demonstrate how the company is compliant with the regulations in New York. This is extremely important and topical in these days, and has proven to be a very nice extension to the 3D models that they have, because basically it's just an enhancement, right? What I'd like to switch to now is a little bit more of the marketing and design use cases. So I've been covering a lot of the construction, contractor, and augmented reality on site for project work, for internal project, and for engineering. But this is also, and equally with the same subscription, you can use this for marketing and for selling of your project and its elements. There is this whole new space of sharing online when you cannot meet in person, right? And we've got on that wave, and we utilize that wave to the maximum, where you can actually just share an image of your project, and you can ask your customer or the stakeholder that you want to engage to just look at that image, and bam, you are there, right? You are there. You are in that augmented reality image of that, and you can walk through it. You can walk around it at your own pace and at your own time. This way, you can share 3D models in augmented reality extremely easily, even with people that haven't used augmented reality before, that don't know how to use augmented reality before. It's a very simple experience. They can then create a gallery, they can make notes, and they can share that with you, which is, again, very useful when you have somebody that you cannot meet with and they'd like to give you feedback. An example from Boston Properties, where, for instance, for value engineering, we've been able to avoid a lot of costs of bringing these physical mock-ups here of a large 150-piece hanging artwork in an A-class office building in Washington, D.C. We were able to bring this in with augmented reality, full scale, and you could check different versions of it, different colors, different lights, light angles and shading, just to make sure that the entire artwork doesn't feel heavy. That helped to save a lot of money to Boston Properties. And it was one of our first projects that we've done, actually. And what I've already mentioned at the beginning, the Amazon second headquarters, the national landing we've created, which is up to date, probably the most complex augmented reality visualization of a real estate project, where we've got dozens of buildings in high detail, where you can walk through them. They are all mapped onto the printed floor, the map on the printed floor, where the whole Amazon where the whole Amazon management is holding meetings with investors and their teams to make sure they make the right decisions in terms of how they organize their future headquarters. Another example would be from residential, where you can actually use this tool. This is a very simple conversion of a 3D model, which you see here. We use this at a public presentation of a project, a large project with the developer and the mayor and number of potential customers were present at the public presentation, but not everybody could be there because of the COVID-19. So we were able to bring them into a virtual walkthrough, where you could see some of the buildings are already there, not finished, but then when you go into the zero opacity, so here you see the transparency, you see some of it's a construction site, doesn't look very nice, but then if they're given the tablets, they can have the full experience of how exactly their garden will look like. This is really virtual staging in practice. And a lot of people actually just dialed in. They didn't come to the meeting, they didn't come to the reception. They dialed in and they used tablets to actually have the same really experience. You can bring this to really photorealistic. So here's an example of how we enhance your 3D model, if needed, into a real photorealistic experience. This is the kind of level of detail that we can get to very quickly as well. It comes at an increased cost, but if you need this for something that needs to be presented to a very important customer, a very important meeting, this can be done very quickly, including customization. So what we do often to help sales and marketing is we customize the experience. So if you're trying to sell this to someone and you know that they like a certain feature, you basically add that feature, or you change a color, or you put something specific there, which they will recognize as a nice touch from you offering them something, or part of a project. This as well comes at the 60% discount today for the 5,000 seats. You can use this to also measure and sell remotely doors and windows. We've been working with Pella, a number of installations where they actually were able. Pella is a large window company, where they were able to fit a number of their models within the opening remotely. And this comes very handy at times when you cannot really travel to site. You don't want to travel to site too often, right? You need to come there to remeasure physically, obviously. But then, all the steps, you can save a lot of steps before that, that actually will let you do the sale more efficiently. And I'll close in with art. We've been working with a number of cities. This is from Seattle, where there was the Design Week in August, where 8 different augmented reality installations were deployed by one of our customers, GGLO. It's a very renowned design group. And they had wonderful feedback on that. These were landmark or building integrated art 3D models, which were converted into augmented reality by our team and presented to the citizens of Seattle for a month or two, where they could actually have that, they could actually experience that exhibition themselves at their own time. We have just signed an agreement with the city of Athens in Greece, for their world-known Athens Biennale for next year, where we have 12 different artworks presented in a similar fashion. So this is a trend that we see, and we're now negotiating with a number of cities to actually have that same similar experience, even going into custom applications. And so this was a custom application for GGLO. Very, very simple. Basically, see the 3D model, you have a map, you go there, and you scan an image, and you have the AR experience. It's also geofenced, so you can only go and check it from certain angles, exactly as the artist meant this. Just to be clear, we don't use this only for art. This is a very similar use case to showing a large building, for instance, where you only want the building to be seen from a certain angle. You can do that. You can share it with the public, and you custom application, and you make sure that nobody can even touch it or move it. It stays exactly where it is based on scanning of an image, which is your anchor point. And then from that point onwards, if they go further, it will just fade out, right? So they only have the experience you want them to have. And golf. We've done a number of golf courses, miniature golf courses, and artwork on golf courses. So I'll end the presentation with that. Multiple angles of this very specific audience and very specific clients that we work with. But it's really interesting and fun work where you can really, and this is a very basic golf course that we've done. We've done also much more complex. So thank you very much for your attention. I'll open the floor to questions now. Let me remind you, today you have the ability and the possibility to get your 60% discount on our licenses with hitting the code BIMAR in store.okular.com. Look forward to your questions, and the floor is now open. Okay, if we don't have any questions at the moment, you can always just leave me a note, send an email. And we take it from there.
I think there is a question.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.